Hi, I'm Geneva, CEO of Bowlus, and today we're taking you through the entire 2026 Frontier Edition in Dusk, and I am so excited to show you this Bowlus. In case if you've never heard of Bowlus before, there are three important things to know. First of all, Bowlus is the original riveted aluminum travel trailer with a history that goes all the way back to the 1930s. Bowlus is known for lightweight aerodynamics. Our lightest Bowlus has a GVWR of 3,500 pounds, and this Bowlus has a GVWR of 4,400 pounds, which means you can tow it with a huge variety of tow vehicles, even ones you might not be thinking of. And then Bowlus is known for luxury, quality, and interior. This is something you won't see on any other RV. This is from the yacht world, from private aviation. Our quality is unlike anything else, both because of the way we build the exterior and all of those personal details on the inside. Bowlus is also made to be an off-grid vehicle, and this Endless Highways Frontier Edition is certainly that, with 19 kilowatt hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries, a complex, sophisticated battery management system that is easy to use, and 400 watts of AeroSolar on the roof. Means you can be off-grid indefinitely as long as that sun is shining. So let's get started. Let's give you that full walkthrough of this Endless Highways Frontier Edition, both inside and out. So let me give you the overall specs of this 2026 Endless Highways Frontier Edition. First of all, it's 27 feet 2 inches long. It has a dry weight of 3,600 pounds, a GVWR of 4,400 pounds, and so that's 800 pounds of carrying capacity. We have a freshwater tank on board of 50 gallons, including the portable. You have a gray water tank of 30 gallons as well. And then we use a cassette toilet system, which I'm going to get all into why you want an RV with a cassette toilet system. And that can last 2 people up to a week off-grid. Now let's get started with the front of the trailer. We'll move all the way around and then go inside. So here we are at the front of the Endless Highways Frontier Edition. And what I want to say first of all is that the Bowlus has a very low tongue weight. Why do you care? Because you want to be able to tow it with a huge variety of tow vehicles. So the tongue weight on this Endless Highways Frontier Edition is about 400 pounds. And if you want to know how it's loaded, well, there's a scale right there for you at the front. So it's really easy to load gear and know exactly how you're balanced. The next thing about the hitch I want to point out is that there's no weight equalization hitch. And why is that important? Well, it means that you can hitch up in under a minute. So you have a 2-inch ball, you have safety cables, you have a breakaway switch, and of course that 7-pin plug, and that's all you need. The Bowlus has a low center of gravity, it's perfectly balanced, and those are the reasons you don't need a weight equalization hitch. The Bowlus also has electric brakes, which are modulated through either the brake controller in your tow vehicle or through a Bluetooth aftermarket brake controller, so it is a dream to tow. If you haven't had a chance, be sure to check out my drivability video on why the Bowlus is the easiest full-size travel trailer to tow. A big reason for that, low center of gravity. So the center of gravity in a Bowlus is about here, where in most other RVs, it's all the way up to the top. And that has a lot to do with where the storage is, where the air conditioner is. Everything is down low by design in a Bowlus. It's also incredibly aerodynamic. So we're right here looking through the front door. The Bowlus is the only RV with a front door, and that is by design. It also lets you load gear really easily into the front door, as well as not having one of those mini doors that you always bonk your head going in and out of that are on most RVs that have the door on the side. There's not as many steps to climb up either, so it's really easy to enter and exit from the Bowlus, and you also have a really easy grab handle here. So whereas most RVs, you're stepping up at least 3 steps to get in and stepping up on that frame, we have a built-in frame design. So the Bowlus is just built so differently from any RV, and that gives you incredible lightweight performance. While we're here also on the front of the hitch, I want to point out the propane tank. Now, Bowlus was the first all-electric RV company back in 2022, and we still make all-electric travel trailers. But the one thing to note about all-electric travel trailers is that they lose their performance in cold weather. And so all-electric travel trailers cannot go camping in the winter, in cold climates, or even in the mountains where those temperatures drop. And for that reason, the Bowlus Endless Highways Frontier Edition has this optional propane tank on the front, which means that you can camp in cold weather for an extended period of time. This propane tank will actually last you over 6 days, completely off-grid, keeping very warm in sub-zero temperatures. And so the only appliance that's actually even using propane is that heater boiler system. So that's your heater and hot water. But your heater hot water can work off electrical. It can work off a standard 15 amp outlet. It can work off of 30 amp. It can also run off the batteries, and it can run off propane. So you need all of that in order to have the best performance for an RV that you want to take off grid. And don't we all want that flexibility to be able to travel where we want in any season? The next thing I want to mention with that low tongue weight is that you can maneuver the Bowlus around by hand. We're going to drop in a video of me maneuvering this Bowlus around our showroom by hand. We'll also go through the optional AeroMove function to talk about drivability. And now while I'm here, I want to bring your attention to the beautiful Bowlus screen door. Now this is a unique feature for the Frontier Edition for 2026. And this screen door is like no other screen door you've ever seen. And let me tell you why. So first of all, we start with commercial grade locks. These aren't the flimsy RV locks that you've probably seen on other RVs. These are more like the ones that you'd find either in a high-end home or a commercial building. So very strong. You also have that screen door. So here I have it open and it has a front door stay down here to lock that screen. But if I want to close it, I just move that screen door out of the way, and then you'll feel how easy it is to close that door, and you'll hear just how solid it is when it's closed. And you'll see here what that screen door looks like when you have the door closed and then you have the screen door open. It gives great cross ventilation. We use all brass screens, so you won't find any fabric screens inside a Bowlus, which is great for pets and also great for quality. And now I'll close the screen door to show you what it looks like when it's not a screen door. And I also just want to mention the front door shade that's right here. So this fully rolls down and covers the front door window. So I'll close the front door stay down here at the bottom. And I close in the front. And then you have two really beautiful hardware locks. And again, I'll close this again just so you can feel the solidness of this door. This takes us over 100 hours to build, which is actually more than most RVs. So we already went over how easy the Bowlus is to get in and out, but I also want to go over this step again. This step can flip up and it gives you phenomenal ground clearance. Now, the Bowlus is not an off-road vehicle. It's not made to go bouldering, but it definitely is an off-pavement vehicle. So it's made for dirt roads, gravel roads, of course at reasonable and slow speeds, but those are the places where you're going to want to access off-grid camping locations. And of course, the Bowlus is an off-grid travel trailer as well, with the large battery systems and complex battery management system that we'll talk about as we get inside. I also want to mention that full monocoque design. What does monocoque mean? It means the entire shell goes all the way around like an aircraft. What that means is that you have a fully covered underbelly here. So there's no exposed wires. All of our water lines, our freshwater tank is all inside the shell. And so we already talked about cold weather camping. Part of that is choosing the right system that can be powered on electric, battery, or propane. And then the second part of that is how you design the RV. So the Bowlus monocoque system means it's built to be in cold weather. We use a force fit poly iso insulation, which has the highest R value. It's the type of insulation you need to be looking for in your RV. Otherwise, that insulation is just going to lose R value over time, as well as not have as high R value. And so all of those features together, combined with having the water systems on that inside of the shell, means as long as you're keeping the Bowlus warm, it is usable in all 4 seasons. Before I make my way down this side, I also want to point out that we have the step light right here that switches on the inside of the kitchen. We have the light here. And then as we move back, I'm going to talk about the type of aluminum that we make on a Bowlus. So the type of aluminum we use is 2024 T3 aluminum. This is aircraft grade. This is not the same type of aluminum that you'll find on any other travel trailer. Bowlus is the only one that currently uses this. And this is because, yes, it is more expensive. Yes, it is aircraft grade, but it is the perfect combination for a monocoque frame. So we have that TIG welded space frame underneath, And then we clad the exterior in those aircraft grade panels. You'll also notice we have aircraft grade rivets throughout. All of those are at aircraft grade spec. So the Bowlus is built much more like a private jet than like an RV, and that gives it incredible performance. So all of those panels are wrapping all the way around. We make this the old-fashioned way with one person on the outside and one person on the inside, and all of these are hand-bucked rivets, structural rivets. Now let's bring you this way on this Bowlus. So first we're gonna come back to the stabilization jacks. Now these are not for leveling. Leveling is easily done on the front with that jockey wheel because you can crank it up and down and tilt the Bowlus front to back. For port to starboard leveling, we recommend a simple Anderson Hitch's leveler, where you just drive up on one wheel and can level it very easily. But something like a Bowlus, I always recommend to just position it easily on a campsite. Because you can move it by hand, it's usually quite easy to find a space that's level. And once you do that, you're gonna put down the stabilization jacks. Because the Bowlus has a low tongue weight, which we already went over, you're always going to need to put down the stabilization jacks in the rear to make sure it never tips. But there's 4 to keep it nice and stable inside for when you're moving around. Now, all of these are gonna be hand crank, and I'll show you how to do that now. But if you wanna make them a little bit more automated, what we recommend is getting the bit that's located in our Amazon store and just simply adding that to a 12-volt drill. So I'll show you both right now and just how easy it is. So that's what that hand crank looks like. And that's what the drill looks like. So now I'm gonna go over the exterior storage that the Bowlus has. Again, it's all down low. We already talked about this why, but here we go. There are 2 separate hatches. They are both lockable. The exterior storage extends from this rivet line all the way back to this rivet line. So it's very long. I'll open both of those up. Right now we probably have our awning inside, and yes, we do. And we also have our 30 amp cable. And in here, you'll also find a 20 amp outlet, which is great if you ever wanted to provide an emergency charge to your electric tow vehicle or wanted to just set up an electric appliance like an outdoor induction cooktop or a speaker or anything else like that. We also have this amazing outdoor table on the Bowlus, and in the Frontier Edition, it's in a beautiful walnut. Now this table does double duty. It also goes inside on the sofa side to set up dining for 4. I'm going to show you how to set it up here on the outdoor storage bracket. And this table does collapse, as you can see it is right now, and fit inside the closet in the Bowlus. And there is also a handy strap to secure that when you're in motion. So first of all, I'm going to extend the leg. And then you don't slide it in, you want to hinge it down. So first you're going to get it into the top hinge and then level it down. And then down here, we extend the leg as needed. And there we go, a really awesome surface for outdoor dining. So you can think of the Frontier Edition as a very loaded Bowlus. It has lots of the packages that are available separately on the Endless Highways, as well as a bunch of exclusive features that are not. But here we are on the Adventure Package. And so the Adventure Package in the Endless Highways is 4 things. It is all-terrain tires, a 3-inch lift, so this is great for that off-pavement travel that we talked about. There's also a spare tire underneath the body right here. And then on the inside, we also have a lashing system, which is great for storing gear. Because the Bowlus has the front door and the lashing system, long gear like paddle boards, bikes, surfboards, or anything else can go right in and then be secured. So it's really great for bringing all that gear along. Bringing your attention here for a minute to the windows in the Bowlus. The windows in the Bowlus are fantastic. So in the living room, you actually have full-length windows on both sides right at eye level. So it feels incredibly open and light. You also have skylights in the Frontier Edition, and those are really beautiful. All of these windows do come with shades. So they're roll-down shades on the sliding open windows and wood shades on these skylights. You have more windows as well in the bedroom, so everything is going to feel really light and open when it's daylight, and then of course be able to be shut down for sleeping as well in privacy. Here we also use that brass screen that I talked about before. So that's really beautiful, really quality, no fabric screens here in a Bowlus. And then up above you have the drip rail. So you'll see a few other drip rails here, one above the window line, one above the outdoor storage line as well. And then we have the awning. And we have a whole video where I go through all of the steps of setting up the awning, but some key things to know is the awning can go on either side, or you could get two, so that way you have the flexibility of increasing your outdoor space. Really easy to put on, takes less than 3 minutes to fully set up, is removable. So we do that by design. We don't want to have a cassette on there destroying the aerodynamics. We don't want it to be heavy up above either. And the awning adds a really great, beautiful space. Nothing mechanical to break, nothing to hit your head on, a really fantastic experience for expanding that outdoor area. Now let's move back. So now let's talk toilets. So the Bowlus has a cassette toilet system, and if you're looking for your next RV, you need to find an RV that has a cassette toilet system. You do not want a black water tank. You do not want a composting toilet. You want a cassette system. And why is that? Because it gives you the most flexibility. So you can dump it in a toilet, in a porta potty, in a sewer cleanout if you want to, but you're not constantly taking your whole RV to a dump station, getting out that stinky slinky, having other pyramiding issues, macerating issues, etc. to figure out, to work through. Cassette is the most hygienic system. It is the system that they also use in European RVs. So let me show you how it works. And if you want a full in-depth into RV toilets, we've got another video for you. So be sure to check that out. This is the cassette toilet system. It's removable from the exterior. You might think, oh, that should be obvious, but it's not. Not every toilet system is removable from the exterior, which is quite gross. So here we go. We're undoing the lockable hatch. We're sliding out the cassette. This has a German fan system integrated as well, which means that when you flush, it's taking all of the air and bringing it down into the cassette system, so you're never smelling an odor while you're using a Bowlus cassette system. That hose detaches right here. I have the cap right here in my pocket, and I'm just gonna put that right there into there for while I'm taking it to the bathroom to empty. Sliding it all the way out. So you'll see the size of the cassette toilet system here. It uses a lot less water than a black water system, and so it actually is much more efficient. Most of our owners find the cassette toilet system is great for 2 people for up to a week. Very easy to empty. So what you're doing is you're rotating this, you're spinning off this blue cap, and then you're simply emptying it into the toilet like that. And there's an air valve here so that you have a continuous pour. And many of your other cassette toilet questions can all be answered over on my cassette toilet video. Now I'll put it back in. Easiest way to empty it and then clean it and then put it back in. A very easy process, which is important, and also one that's preferable for an off-grid RV. You can't have an off-grid RV and need to take it to a dump station every time you're dumping your tanks. Now, in terms of options, the Frontier Edition does have a few options that you can choose to add. One of them is AeroMove. That's going to be right here. I'll talk about that in a second. The next option is the smart television. You also have the Epicurean Package, as well as integrated Starlink. And all of those options are on this Frontier Edition, so we'll go through all of those to see, but just know that those are optional in case those don't fit your use case. So down here we have AeroMove. AeroMove is incredible. We have lots of videos that show you exactly how it works. We'll also drop in a video here to show you spinning around the showroom. But what's great about AeroMove is it can move forward, it can move back, it can spin. You can get it into a tight parking spot that maybe you can't even get into with a tow vehicle. You never have to worry about backing in when you get to a campsite. You don't have to have your spouse be your spotter. It really opens up your world. Or you can go camping by yourself, arrive to your campsite in pitch black and not worry about hitting something. So it just really frees you up and adds that sort of effortless adventure that Bowlus is known for. Both of those motors engage directly against the wheels and they simply move forward and back. You can also move your entire Bowlus towards your tow vehicle to make hitching up a dream. Bowlus floor plans are always going to be similar and have that bedroom in the back. That's important because it gives you a full separate bedroom, which we'll talk about. But as we move back here, you have the bedroom windows. This window is sliding. The one on the tail is fixed. You also have the ability to roll everything down and have really great privacy. You'll also notice that these windows are not at eye level. Again, you can have them open while you're relaxing in bed and still have really great privacy, which is very unique for an RV. And then while we're over here, I also want to point out the integrated Starlink, which is up there on the roof. And integrated Starlink is great because it means it can be always on inside your Bowlus. For many tow vehicles, it also reaches into the tow vehicle while you're driving in case your passengers want to be using the internet, and it creates your own private Wi-Fi network using the satellite service Starlink. You can also use the Starlink Mini, and some customers prefer to do that. You can just simply, in the endless highways, plug that Starlink Mini into the outdoor hatch and set it up in the ground. But I have a full video explaining that decision between integrated Starlink in the endless highways and using the Starlink Mini so that you can decide for yourself. And as we move to the tail, the Frontier Edition does include the maneuvering package, which is the beautiful Bowlus branded bumper and backup camera. Now the backup camera does have a handheld remote that's just plugged into your tow vehicle, so you can see the full view when you're backing up. Also here on the tail, I just want to point out that beautiful aircraft grade aluminum. I think the view inside is even more beautiful because you have that wood, especially in the Frontier Edition. The birch and walnut together are gorgeous. As we move back, you have the freshwater gravity fill here. So that's going to be to fill the onboard freshwater tank. You also have the ability for an additional 20-gallon portable that fits inside the shower with a place to securely strap it down inside the Bowlus. So if you want that additional water capacity, you have that. This is for the onboard 30-gallon freshwater tank, and then you have the 20 gallons that can fit in the shower. As we move back, you of course have the place for your license plate and license plate light. We use fully integrated LED brake lights. You'll also have turn signals and running lights as well. All of those of course are LED as well. Those plug in through the 7-pin through your tow vehicle. Now down here is going to be your city water connection, and city water is going to be when you're at a campsite and they have a pedestal, or even if you're at your home or a friend's or family's home, you're able to run that freshwater hose from the spigot to the city water, and then you have unlimited water, and it's also pressurized. Of course, if you're filling up the freshwater tank, that water is not going to be pressurized because it's in a freshwater tank. And so at that point, you're going to flip on the water pump on the inside of the Bowlus. So two different ways to do water, depending if you have service at a campground or friends or family's home, or if you're going to be off-grid. So now let's talk all about power. So first of all, the Bowlus has yacht quality off-grid power management system, yacht quality off-grid batteries, and of course the fully integrated AeroSolar in this Frontier Edition. This is our biggest battery package, biggest solar spec, biggest everything. It's meant to take you off-grid for extended periods of time. Let's go over exactly what that means because there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to batteries. So first of all, let's talk solar. So Bowlus has 400 watts of AeroSolar on the roof. We pick the entire Bowlus system and design it from a holistic standpoint so that you can be off-grid for extended periods of time. Many RV designers or even aftermarket installation just throw on solar after the fact, but those aren't able to power the appliances because they didn't pick efficient appliances to begin with. So this fully integrated system is the way to go. If you're considering your next RV, that's definitely a must-have. The appliances need to be efficient. They need to be designed to go off-grid. You need to have a large battery bank. It can't be that dealer add-on where they just throw in lithium power where the lead acids were before, because that's not going to get you the same level of performance as having a fully integrated system. You're simply just going to have lithium, but you're not going to have the complex battery management system like something like a Bowlus has. You're not going to have that yacht quality. You know, these battery systems were designed to perform out in the middle of the ocean, and that's why we've selected them. Bowlus was the first to be all lithium back in 2016, so we've been at this for over a decade now of fully off-grid systems. We also pick our appliances really carefully, and I want to give you a specific example because that's really going to speak to something you need to know. So first of all, Bowlus uses a 30 amp system. Every RV park that you go to is going to have a 30 amp system, but everything inside the Bowlus can run off 15 amp. Why do you care about this? That means that you can plug into a regular household outlet. So if you're parked next to your property and want to just run an extension cord to a regular outlet, you can do that. If you're visiting friends and family and want to do the same thing, you can do that. You're not missing out on not being able to run your air conditioner. You're not missing out on not being able to blow dry your hair while you're also charging your computer, while you're also doing whatever you like to do that consumes power. So we want you to have that flexibility. We want it to feel like you're at home where you're not thinking about power use while you're inside an RV. Also, that 15 amp capability for the entire system allows you to use a small generator like a Honda 2200 watt if you're going to be wanting air conditioning for extended periods of time. Now, the Bowlus air conditioning system can run completely off-grid for up to 36 hours. And if you think about that, unless you're running the air conditioning all day, 24 hours a day for extended period of time, you can really stretch that. So out here in the West, I like to think about it a little bit differently. I'm out, I'm doing things outside, not necessarily inside my Bowlus during the day, I'm out exploring, but I'm gonna come home, late afternoon, it's gonna be hot. We're gonna turn that air conditioning on, we're gonna cool it down. As we're cooling it down, what's happening outside? The temperature's dropping. And so once we cool down the inside, we're able to turn off that air conditioning, open up those beautiful windows with those brass screens and get that natural air in outside. So it gives you that real efficiency to stretch that air conditioning time for an extended period of time. That said, I do appreciate that there's some locations where you need to run air conditioning 100% of the time because it's humid and it's hot. I'm looking at you, Florida, in the middle of the summer. And that is going to be either you're going to be at a campground plugged into 30 amp, running it continuously, or if you're off grid, you can use the generator to do that. And how I like to think about the generator is it doesn't need to be on constantly to run the air conditioner. I can turn it on, I can charge back up the battery, I can turn the generator off. I can deplete the battery by running the air conditioner until it's depleted, then I turn the generator back on. So you're not constantly having that noise of the generator running, which is of course the whole reason for camping. We don't want to hear the constant hum of that generator all the time. We want that flexibility, but of course we want it all. We want to be comfortable inside too, and the Bowlus fits all of those needs completely. Now you have 400 watts of AeroSolar on the roof, and that's enough to regenerate regular daily use. What's regular daily use? Lights, fridge, charging devices, everything you're not thinking of that goes on in the background. So that's enough for all of that. But if you want to add more solar, that's still an option with those suitcase style solar panels. And those are the plugs here. So you can add up to 2 suitcase style solar panels for a total of 660 watts of solar absorption. So that's just going to extend your off-grid time further if you want to do that. But like I said, AeroSolar on the roof is already going to be enough to run everything that you need to, except for that carve out for air conditioning, which is of course when you're tapping into your battery. So you can kind of think of solar as able to make up your daily use without tapping into the battery, and then saving that battery for either conditions that aren't as good for solar, because this is an MPPT system, so it's still able to solar absorb in cloudier conditions, or using that battery for the air conditioner system. And this here is the emergency exit. Of course, it's only able to be opened from the inside, but it's inside the shower. And so what I do like as a secondary use is you're able to take the shower and extend it out through here for an outdoor shower. But this Frontier Edition also has another outdoor shower. So we'll go over that in a second, but great for washing pets, rinsing off feet, rinsing off gear as well. But you have that second outdoor shower as well. And here's the outdoor shower, which is a unique feature for the Frontier Edition. So it opens up here with this beautiful latch, and then this extends outside. You have the mixer on off over here, and so really easy and great to rinse off for an outdoor shower or for gear. So I've shown you the whole exterior of the Frontier Edition. What you should know is that this is Bowlus's biggest model, highest trim model, and a lot of that shines on the outside, but even more shines on the inside. So let's take you inside now. So now we're inside the Frontier Edition and we're inside the kitchen. What I love most about the Bowlus kitchen is that you have a huge amount of prep space. So you have this whole area over here, and then you have the induction cooktop, of course, and that is 2 burners, but this area also doubles as a cooktop. What I love about induction is that it doesn't stay hot, and so that double cook station is really easy. You have both of those. Now this Bowlus Frontier Edition has the Epicurean Package, so there's a bunch of delicious extra features in here, and one of those is the shelves. So that gives you even more storage up above. In most of the Bowlus rooms, we don't have storage up above, so you have that wide open feeling, but in the kitchen, having additional storage is fantastic. On this side, you also have a drawer. Now, every drawer in the Bowlus is going to be hard pull, but soft close. And this is exactly what you need to look for in an RV. You want hard pull because of course you don't want the drawers opening while you're driving. And then you want soft close because it feels just right. So let me show you here. Oh, and inside the Bowlus Frontier Edition, you have these beautiful Bowlus branded handles, which I just absolutely love. So be sure to check those out. And then we use all stainless steel countertops. And of course, this is what's used in commercial kitchens. And it's really great for prep space, really easy to clean. You have a deep sink here. You have a faucet, and that faucet also does extend outside. So it's really long. And then down below, this is part of the Epicurean Package, you have a 3-in-1. So it's a convection oven, convection microwave, and air fryer. So it does a great job. This also fully runs off the battery, which is great. Lots of outlets all around. We have a 3,000 watt inverter, so that means you can be running a food processor, a Nespresso coffee maker, a milk frother, a blender. You can run all of those appliances seamlessly inside when you're cooking or prepping food or drinks. And then storage-wise, you'll find lots of storage inside the Bowlus kitchen. You have this giant drawer. Inside this drawer right now, we have the customer items, so you can appreciate how big it is. The drawer is the full countertop length and width. And then over here, you have additional storage, which is perfect for a garbage can for cooking. And then over on this side, you have additional storage here. This is where I like to store pots and pans on one shelf. And I love those sets that nest together. It just gives you even more space, as well as, you know, other appliances, the Nespresso maker, the milk frother, anything else like that can go down below. And then in this drawer, which is below the cooktop, this is where I like to put all the plates and cutlery. So when you're going to go camping, a lot of people say, well, how do you pack? And we go over exactly what that looks like in some of our other videos. But what's important is it's not going to be like you're at home, right? You're only going to be bringing maybe 1 plate per person, maybe 2. So let's say for 4 people, you're bringing maybe 6 plates, 6 bowls, 6 forks, 6 knives, 6 spoons, 6 cups. And so you're not bringing as much gear. And so what I find is all of that fits really beautifully in here, as well as any other cooking tools you might have, all there. And then you save that giant drawer for more of your pantry items, and those are great up here as well. And then most folks use this as sort of a drawer for their owner's manual, spare keys, any other types of items they're bringing. And then part of the Epicurean Package is this beautiful drawer fridge, which just expands the area even further. So this opens all the way out, so huge. And then down below, you also have that storage for wine, etc., if you might want to bring that. And then up above is a freezer, and that's here as well. So really generous space to use for everything. And then as I move back, I want to point out the lashing system. We touched on that before when we were outside. This is a feature of the Adventure Package, and of course the Frontier Edition comes with the Adventure Package, but those have the lashing systems, and that looks like this. So that's what the lashing rings look like. You press it in and then put in that circle and slide it up, and that's how you secure it. You get 6 of these with your Bowlus Endless Highways Frontier Edition. And you also have 6 uprights. So you've got 2 here, 2 between the living room and bathroom, and 2 between the bedroom and the bathroom. And so it gives you that flexibility. I could put all 6 right here. I could hang a dish towel here. I could secure a paddle board while I'm in motion down here. So much flexibility for the type of gear that you want to bring. Now let's show off the living room. So now we're in the living room. And the first thing about the living room I want to point out is that both sides, or each side, converts into a twin bed. So the Bowlus can sleep 4, and it can sleep 4 with a separate bedroom. So this is over on a lot of our other videos, but you know, one of the things about vans is that you don't get that separate bedroom, and even RVs of similar length to the Bowlus, you might have a curtain or something that closes off that bedroom. We really see that as a design flaw. At Bowlus, we appreciate that separate bedroom. Even if you're only traveling with 2 people, it means that someone can be up making coffee or reading emails or whatnot while the other person is still resting in bed. It's critical for extended periods of time travel. So this converts into a twin bed by removing the table and inserting 2 supports down below, and then this converts into a bed as well. Next thing I want to point out in the living room is just the beautiful woods that we're using. So we don't use any laminates. We're not using MDF. MDF shouldn't be used in RVs. It's what's used in IKEA furniture. We want high quality, real wood inside a Bowlus. And of course, real aluminum. But this is a beautiful walnut that's up on our upright wall. So you'll see there, as well as on our headliner. And then you're also surrounded for the ceiling with that beautiful birch wood. All of our wood is all sealed on all 6 sides, fully UV coated. You'll also notice just how bright and open this space is. Few reasons for that. First of all, we don't have any storage up above, and that's by design. So we're not feeling claustrophobic or closed in like I personally feel in many other RVs. We also have the window lines exactly at eye height. So we're able to look outside, able to appreciate the scenery. We also have beautiful skylights up above. These skylights do also have blinds, so if you're traveling in hot climates, you can easily insert those wood blinds. And then all of our storage is down low, so you're not at a miss for storage. It's just in a different place. And so that storage is down below. You have 5 really large drawers. So I think of this as similar to probably the 5-drawer dresser that you might have at home. And also one has a pet bowl section, which is removable if you don't plan on traveling with pets, but the Bowlus is a perfect RV for traveling with pets as well. Lots of space for them to lay out. Able to run that air conditioning off-grid, especially great if you're planning on stepping out for dinner or something like that, but still want to keep all the pets warm. You'll also notice here at the dinette that it's oversized. One of the things we found with many RVs is that the dinette is quite small. And so what that means is 2 people can't have laptops open at the same time. So the goal here is that both people on either side of the dinette should be able to have large 15-inch laptops open at the same time without running into that airline seat issue where you can only crack open that laptop slightly. You also have storage for laptops and tablets down below underneath the table with our charging station. And then of course it's a charging station, so you also have the ability to have 120 volt power as well as USB/USC charging down below. You've got that beautiful Bowlus Frontier Edition badging. All of these windows slide open, so you have that great cross ventilation. So I find when all of these windows are open and the vents along the roof are open, you have wonderful airflow in really high temperatures. I find that I don't even personally need to turn the air conditioning on till it starts creeping up near the 90s. That's a large portion because the Bowlus does not have a flat roof, and so you have that natural thermosiphon in which the cool air comes in and the hot air goes out. Other features to point out in the living room, we have great reading lights throughout. We also have full LED lights on the roof, which all are able to be turned on and off with buttons, room independent, as well as be dimmed. So really great for setting that ambiance. And then you've got seating for 4. So you have 3 people that can sit over on the sofa side, 2 on the dinette side. And if you plan on dining for 4, that outdoor table we already showed outside just goes right in the middle, and then you have theater style seating for 2 people over there. So great if you plan on hosting a few friends over for dinner. We also have the smart television. That is an option, and that smart television can be connected to your Starlink network to run from that. You'll also notice our lashing system here. We use a really beautiful high-end Japanese product for our seating. It is perfect for dog claws. It has 30,000 double rubs. This is a true performance fabric and also just so soft and comfortable. And the seating, just the first thing people say when they come is just how comfortable it is to sit in a Bowlus and how beautiful this space is. We find people want to stay forever. So hopefully you really get an idea of this living room space. So up above, I want to point out those vents. These are a really beautiful venting system. Again, no flat roof, so really great for airflow to exit. You simply slide and then secure back into place. You have your vent open, all brass screens up here too, and then close it like that. And then on our skylights, I also wanted to point out the skylight blinds, which are going to look like this. And those simply just pop in here and then are secured with the lock. So if you're in warm climates or don't want that light coming in, if people are sleeping in here, then you're able to pop in those wood blinds up above. And then all of these window shades do roll down too. So they simply come down and then they're able to be secured down below too. So lots of really great privacy inside the bedroom, but great visibility when you want it. So now as we move towards the bathroom, I first want to point out these two full-size closets on either side. Both have a clothes hanging bar, storage up above, and storage down below for gear. Over on this side, there's also a strap. So we talked about that outdoor table that also doubles as the sofa table. That does fit in here, as well as the suitcase style solar panels if you wanted to add those. And you have each of those closets on either side, so yours and mine closet setup. Now I want to show you how the door system works inside a Bowlus and why that separate bedroom is so key. So we have the king bed set up right now, but you can have the twin bed set up as well if you prefer. It can go between either one, so depending on who you're traveling with. So to close off the doors and also to expand the bathroom, so double use, making use of that 27-foot floor plan really well, we're going to close this door off from the bedroom to the bathroom. And then we're going to close this door right here. So when I have it closed, you have that double door between the bedroom and the living room. So if you have kids out here sleeping, everyone has their own separate space, as well as if you're wanting to sleep in later. And that's also how this bathroom is created, which I will show you now. So now let me show off the features of the bathroom. So again, I'm going to close this door between the bedroom and the bathroom. And then I'm going to turn around and close off this other door. So now I'm inside the bathroom and you can appreciate just how large it is right there. So over on this side, we have the toilet. We already went through the cassette toilet system. That's going to be the flush valve down below. And of course, the blue button adds water inside the bowl for when you're rinsing the bowl after use. It is a dry bowl, so otherwise you're keeping the bowl completely dry. You've got storage behind as well for other toiletry items. This is the glycol tank. So we have that hydronic heating system in this Frontier Edition, which is pumping hot glycol through the inside of the Bowlus. This is the system you want because this is a huge reason why the Bowlus is perfect for 4 seasons. And then it also means that we've been able to heat the floors underneath, which is just such a wonderful feature. That is the air conditioning vent as well. You have 3 of those inside the Bowlus, vented to every room. So inside the bedroom, bathroom, and living room. Toilet paper holder there, door handle, and then lots of hooks. So you have the hook up above, you have one here as well, and then I'll move over to the vanity. So down here is actually where the air conditioner is located that's vented to all of those rooms. That's a temperature sensor right there. Again, with those beautiful stainless steel countertops, sink, faucet, power. 3000 watt inverter means that you can use all of the appliances that you want to, hair curler, hair dryer, everything you need. And then we have our vanity here with great lighting, which is important. And then medicine cabinet with features behind. So you've got more storage here for those toiletry items. You have the light switch here for the vanity and then the switch here for the water pump. I'll go over the panels briefly. So that's the hydronic heating panel that also powers the hot water. And that lets us turn it on, set the temperature, and also set it how we want it to power it, whether that's electrical or propane, as well as set the temperature inside. Then we have our power features. So we have a main power feature button here, which allows us to do a full shut off into storage mode, which is great. This is our inverter panel, so it allows us to invert power if we're going to be off grid or use it through the shore power input. We also have a touch screen here. So we're not currently plugged into shore power, but as you can see, we have 99%, and then it gives you the AC loads that you're using, as well as tells you what's coming in for solar right here on PV chargers. So we have, about 25 watts inside. And then we also have the air conditioner panel right here. And now I'll turn around and show you the other side. And now I'm going to head into the shower. Now this is going to be a sit-down shower for anyone who's taller than I am, but a sit-down shower is great because it gives you just so much room. So, I'm sitting on the shower here and my feet don't even touch the wall on the other side. I have the Italian style shower head right here, soap pump bottles, as well as a clothes hanging line, which stretches all the way over here to secure. You also have the shower curtain right here. And so you can pull that closed and then have the shower curtain closed if you want to use the bathroom with the doors in the aisle, or you could always close that door as well. And otherwise, here we have our emergency exit, which we saw from the outside, the two handles to open that up. And then this is where we're going to also be able to secure additional water storage. So 4 5-gallon jugs can store right here, and then they can tie down with that lashing system here. All right, now let me show you the bedroom. So here we are in the king bedroom of the Frontier Edition, and I just want to point out that beautiful wood cocoon. You have the birch wood, the walnut trim pieces, really gorgeous lighting as well. You have the lighting up above, LED lighting on that walnut headliner that is also dimmable and operated with each room. Up above, you have the shelves for personal items. You have a reading light here that also has charging down below it. Those gorgeous Bowlus branded headboards in that beautiful soft Japanese fabric, which is wonderful. And then you have the same on the other side, of course, and the windows, which do roll down. So really wonderful, full-size king bed, comfortable and convertible. And then at the foot of the bed, you have the hydronic heating system. You have a tablet mount for streaming, USB, USB charging, and a nightstand at the foot of the bed. And then you do have a 120 volt plug under the bed if you have any larger appliances that you may need to use, like a CPAP machine, all of that operated off the battery too. So a lot of people ask, how does service work with a Bowlus? So first of all, we have full factory service available in Oxnard, California, which is where Bowluses are built. You also have, when you purchase from Bowlus, the ability to have a mobile service network. Now this is great because the technician is able to be dispatched and come directly to you. So whether you're traveling on the road or closer to home, you're able to have that full mobile service network to support you. We also have 24/7 technical support and roadside assistance. So no matter where your journey takes you, you're always covered. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you appreciate this 2026 Endless Highways Frontier Edition that is fully loaded in the Dusk color palette. It has some amazing features and is the pinnacle of everything we do here at Bowlus. If you want to come see it, we currently have it available at Bowlus of Santa Barbara. Now, we don't always have these available to see. These are configured to order, so most customers are placing their order between 6 months to a year in advance. That said, if you're looking for something sooner, please reach out to our sales team and we'd be happy to give you our availability. Until then, we hope you'll come and visit us. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and comment for even more Bowlus content.